Oh, look at this one. I know he is.
Listen, I was gonna download that so I could put it on the screen. That needs screen time. We got to put that on the screen.
It's good.
We got to put that on the screen. Listen, that is going to be the most memed picture in history. I promise you, it's going to go viral. It's going to be on T-shirts. It's going to be on mugs. It's going to be everywhere. So I hope he's ready. And the thing is that Trump isn't like a regular guy. He's very, very egotistical and narcissistic overtly, right? A lot of us are like, hey, I'm narcissistic in a way, a tinge or whatever.
I'm a good person.
But no, he's complete. This is going to drive him up a freaking wall, because one thing about men like him is they don't operate off of anything but praise. So this is going to be everywhere he looks, and he's a social media person. Everywhere he looks, he's going to be plastered everywhere. So good luck to him.
Well, he's also going to use it to raise a lot of money. That's the other side to it. Yeah. He's going to make a lot of money. It's crazy how much money, like, he's not paying for any of these cases, these defense cases that all these lawyers, he's raising money through all right, dog. He's raising money through fundraising to help, hey, I need help, blah, yada, yada, yada. But what's crazy, so this is going to be a fundraising, they're gonna try to turn lemon into lemonade. But what's crazy is all these other people that are indicted with him that are going broke, and he is not helping them whatsoever. I mean, there are people there's somebody right now, a person that got indicted that is sitting in jail because he's not
the black guy, right?
Bail money. I'm not sure if it's the black guy. It might be.
It's the black guy. No, it's the black guy. Yeah. It's the one black guy. It's like one black guy, and he's the only one still in jail.
Devil's advocate, though. Like all the. Gad, you go, Haran. I am.
Well, we're going to find out that this photo right here is the photo that basically made him president again.
Right. That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly
I don't. Can someone explain that to me? I don't understand what you guys are saying.
In other words,
they're making him a martyr.
Oh, okay. All right.
With this photo, and it's essentially it's relative to tonight's topic. You're just giving these motherfuckers an opportunity to seek revenge.
Okay, all right. Well, it makes sense that way.
Martyr is what's happened.
Yeah,
okay, perfect sense.
I disagree. The people that are his base is his base. They're going to support him no matter what. He's got that 35-40%, and I think he's in worse shape. In Georgia, especially, he's in worse shape. I think the people that are truly independent aren't going to vote for him. I don't believe they'll vote for him. I think he'll lose again.
I got to tell you, if the election was held right now, and if it's only he and Biden, I'm going to vote for him because I just can't stand Biden. All right. Or I might vote libertarian. Either one of those two. But if it's, him in the primaries and all that, I'm going to look at another candidate.
This is the thing, though, George, is that it's not you I'm worried about, because you're looking at it. Okay, you don't want to vote for Biden. That's fine. The problem is I see people on the side that on the debate last night that I would vote for over Biden on the Republican side. But you know what? The base on that side isn't going to put they're not going to put those guys. They're not going to make it. They're going to be polling at like 10%, 15%.
Did you see what Jen did?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, let us.
But I'm really curious, because you're saying you're going to vote for him. I don't know, man. This is interesting. It's kind of crazy. It's interesting as hell, though. This next couple of years is going to be fascinating from a political science standpoint. From unfortunately, I have to live in this country.
All right. No, Saint. Let me ask you this now. In Louisiana.
Yeah.
As well as better than I do, that they're no stranger to corruption in politics,
right,
and all that. And those of you from New York, is this really, if you scale all of this down, let's just say Donald Trump was not, this was just local or statewide, would this really surprise you? Would any of this surprise you?
Nothing surprises me now. We live in a damn reality show, for God's sake. What is going to surprise you?
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Literally,
If
like
Kanye won, I would not be shocked. Not
I was
in
just
this
about to
country.
say.
Listen.
Look how
Yeah.
crazy this country is so crazy right now, and stuff is so unbelievable right now. The government done admitted that aliens are real, and people are like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, like people don't care no more. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah, really, it's kind of like the whole thing. I hate to say it. It's turned into the whole thing. Maybe in the last 40 years, it's really been a culture, personality kind of thing. The best it's really not about the ideas. It's really not. I hate to say that, but
it's about popularity, right? Like who has more fans? I think that's
Right.
I think it's really
Saint,
who has more
Saint,
fans.
look, man, Saint, you're my guy. But listen, bro. This is the kind of liberal thinking that had you motherfuckers fucked up in the first place. Like Donald Trump, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way this guy. No.
Saint, go like this. Go like this.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. So you could be in the frame.
Oh, okay.
You look like a little person.
You guys
intellectual.
You know, the liberals, they intellectualize these moments so much, and they're so certain that it's going to go in a particular direction, and they don't understand there's so much passion behind, Donald Trump, the idea of what he represents. There's so much passion behind that there are going to be people who stand behind him regardless of what.
Well, I see that. I know that, but this is the thing.
And hold on. In addition to that, there's equally amount of passion of people who don't like Biden. So you add
but this is the problem. There are a lot of people. You're saying you fail to realize how many people really despise Trump after the first 4 years. Those same people that voted for him, that were
true.
in the middle.
That's true.
Said hell no, and not just that. Now you got abortion.
That's true.
The abortion thing that has been going awful for the Republican Party. Now that they caught the dog that caught the car, now they don't know what to do with it because they're losing local elections, and finding out. So listen, I'm not saying Donald Trump can't win. We saw that when he won. I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying I'm looking at the tea leaves, and I don't see what's changed. Biden's horrible. I'm not a Biden fan. I'm not happy with the candidates. I don't think he's going to try to tear shit down on the way out. I don't think he's going to do that.
I do agree with No Saint in the sense of I don't think that all the people that love Trump, right, still do. I don't think so. Like he won because a lot of people are like, yay, go Trump. But I don't think he has the same with all the shitstorm that happened during his presidency. And I don't think, I'm not saying that he would lose. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he's not going to have the turnout that he did before.
Okay,
that I know for a fact.
Who are those people gonna side with? Sleepy Joe?
Maybe they won't vote at all. But wait, but there were people saying,
are we saying that they don't show up?
There were people that were saying, I'm not voting at all. I've seen that online as well.
And that's why I'm saying logically, and that's why I'm saying logically, and to Haran's point, logically, I agree with you and No Saint, but just the world we have been living in since 2020, nothing is logical anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing makes logical sense anymore.
This is what's crazy. We're all talking about.
I'm not voting for you in Nevada. No, Saint, let it go.
I know. No, this is what's crazy though.
I'm just doing the commercials.
This is what's crazy though, is if they get this Georgia trial off, he can't pardon himself from a sentence in Georgia. If he gets convicted, he can serve. He'll be running. This is so crazy. It's so crazy that they need to make amendments now. If you're in jail, you cannot be president from jail.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for that amendment.
Why can't he be president? They let mafia bosses run mafia families from jail.
What?
It's that thinking right there.
What?
That thinking right there.
So what just happened?
But
this is
but
America,
George,
people.
I mean, listen, George, I would hope that you would look at all this and just say, yeah, I'm not voting for Biden. I don't know. You're in Florida, so who knows? You might. I don't know what to say. A no vote might be a vote for Biden. Who knows?
No, Saint, do you feel perturbed when you hear people say, "Well, I'm voting for him anyway. I don't care."
No, I just think. Listen, my generation the downfall, is the beginning of the downfall of normalcy in this country. Like, and I never would have thought that being, I never would have thought that growing up in high school. I never would have thought that the people I was going to high school with would totally just, I really believe, I'm not saying George is like this, because I think I've talked to George enough to know that he's a little bit deeper than most people that are going to the polls. But just like the stuff I was hearing people saying, I'm like, people don't understand geopolitics. They really don't. They don't understand the wide world of how things work as far as like why we support certain countries in certain situations. They just grab talking points from whatever echo chamber they're listening to, and then that's what they go with. And it's just, and the same with politicians. It's just like,
no, Snake, you're saying that you gave people a lot more credit than they should.
Respectfully, devil's advocate again. No, Saint, you starting to sound like back in my day. You're starting to sound a little bit like back in these kids today. Our generation is the
But no, I'm talking about my generation sucks.
I'm talking about the Gen Xers.
I'm saying our generation is the downfall of normalcy in politics. It's the down. It's.
Well, let me say this though, respectfully to all the voters out there. It's always been a popularity contest. Hence, they use celebrities to promote. It's never been about the politics, because most people don't know the three heads of government. What is the governor? What does the senator do? What is the vice president? Most people don't know that. It's always been about the most charismatic guy that fits the suit the nicest with the beautiful wife. And it's always been that. It's always been that. People go to the poll. I mean, my mom, I used to watch my mother vote. My mother didn't know from A to Z in politics. She was like, oh, yeah, like Kennedy and Reagan. He was an actor. And I'm like, yeah, I know, Mom.
And it's worse than that. It's worse than that, because it's like now it's just they vote according to their religion, which is their party.
Yeah.
But listen, no, respectfully, you have to understand. To even understand politics on a basic level, not even an intermediate level, you have to be somewhat of a very astute critical thinker. Okay, Joe Sixpack is not going to understand politics on a basic fucking level. Okay, Joe Sixpack knows that, hey, I can have a beer with this guy.
Bud Light.
Exactly, Joe Bud Light. Oh, he hates the Mexicans.
I hate the Mexicans, so
exactly. He's gonna make sure they don't take out the herbs.
When they were saying, white boy talking crazy. When they were saying back in 2016, I like Trump, I could drink a beer with him. I'm thinking to myself, he's like my neighbor. I can drink. I'm like, I don't want my neighbor running this country. I don't want a guy drinking a beer running this country. My neighbor is an asshole.
And I do have to agree with Ron on this. This doesn't make black people any less, culpable, because black people showed up for Bill Clinton because he played the sax on Arsenio Hall. And he played a very bad saxophone.
Like I said, popularity contest. Shout out to YouTube Perez. Thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, eating candy on camera, that's cheating, Jen. It ain't candy. It's edamame, dry roasted sea salt. There's a lot of protein in here. It's really good for you.
What does edamame taste like?
Have you ever had, you haven't had edamame like in a sushi place?
I may have had it in a salad, but I didn't know what it was.
Like wasabi, right?
Huh? No, it's like a chubby pumpkin seed. Doesn't taste like much unless it's salted.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a chubby pumpkin seed, like a big old sunflower seed. But Goya, cut the check, bitches. Cut the check.
But I was saying, if you're not, I agree with Ron on this. If those of you kind of tend to congregate in your world in the way you see this, if you're not careful, constantly saying Trump voters are stupid and this and that, you're going to people are going to say, fuck you, I'm going to vote for him just to spite you. And I think there was a bit, there was a good bit of that, more than we probably want to admit.
You know what, George? Yeah, Carrie said that's vegan candy. It is. I will say I agree with you, George, because I don't think that people underestimate, right? I don't think that if you vote for Biden, you're stupid. And I don't think that if you vote for Trump, you're stupid. People underestimate this is what the fuck I believe. And they can be all kinds of intelligent, but it's like, this is what I believe, period. I don't care what you believe. I am stuck on this. It doesn't mean that someone's not intelligent. It just means that's what they fucking believe, and they're standing true and true to it. And they don't care what anyone says.
It's that damn deity gene popping back up again. That's all it is. That damn deity gene. They get stuck.
When Hillary got mollywopped, okay, her whole fucking
such violence.
You know what I mean? Whole fucking stance was that, oh, they're deplorables. They're not smart. And blah blah blah, and they didn't go to college, and yada yada. And this was white people turning up their privilege against other white people. So imagine how clutch.
That's a good point.
That was for what it was like. Oh, just because you went to college, my opinion doesn't matter. Oh, I'll show you. I'm gonna go to the fucking polls, and I'm gonna make sure that guy goes in there. How do you like that, bitch? And shit like that, man. Like seriously. Y'all keep fucking around with these people, man. Because guess what? There's more of them than there are of you.
Right.
Keep fucking with these fucking people, man.
That's not true.
But
that's not true. There's more.
What I'm saying is like, don't call all the whack.
No. There's more. He hasn't won the popular vote yet. So there's not more of them than there are the other people.
Do you think there are more people in this world who can sit down? Let's just talk about us right here. Do you think there are more people in the world right now from different backgrounds, different ways of life, different thinking, who can sit down and have an intelligent conversation? Do you think there are more people in the world than per se the opposite who can't even sit down and agree on a piece of without somebody throwing a racist slur at someone?
Right. Without a gun being drawn or a knife being drawn. Yeah.
I mean, you got people on both sides that if you put Cardi B on stage, they'll be like, yes, I'm going to vote for her. And then you got people on the other side, it's like, Kid Rock, yeah, that's right. Let's vote for whoever Kid Rock is performing for. That's really the level of voters, all right? The majority. Then there are the smart people that think the politics and the laws and bills, and this is going to be good for our economy and my tax bracket and blah, blah, blah. But the majority are just like, who's performing? Is it the Dixie? Oh, not the Dixie Chicks. They got canceled. Who's Taylor Swift is performing? That's the majority of the voters. Let's admit it. I'm sorry, no Saint.
I'm not disagreeing there.
Get your MAGA hat ready.
Right.
No Saint are like, fuck Trump, man. Fuck Trump.
I'm just going to say this, and we'll see if he gets in. But I will say that I would. Well, this probably won't be remembered, so I'll say it anyway.
Go ahead, no Saint.
He will try to stay in office past 2 terms. I'm going to put it out there right now. It'll be some kind of constitutional crisis, something. He will try to stay in.
On that note, welcome to On the Block with Jen. Haran, welcome to On the Block with Jen. I am YouTube and your favorite devil's advocate, Jen. You see everybody's name on the screen? That is where you follow them. If you have an extra question, because I was running late today, so I'm speeding. If you have an extra question for anybody on the panel, if you want to follow their channels, please throw it in the chat. Follow me, gente, por favor. That is what fuels us and keeps us here for you, and you like being here, okay? So support everyone's channel because we truly, madly, deeply don't know who's dropping what. Lily may drop something, Haran, no St. George, or whoever. Please follow everybody because sometimes I get lazy and I don't post worth a damn. And if you want more On the Block with Jen or more Lily or more Haran or more No Saint or more, follow them, okay? Don't think you're gonna follow me and you're gonna get the mots, okay? Because I don't post sometimes. So follow everybody. Thank you, por favor. What is Ish saying? No Saint, Trump will be the last American president. What does that mean? You want to come up? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I heard that too.
I think he's thinking it's Armageddon. It's going to start.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that meant. I hear that, or like I overhear that from time to time, and I never know what that really means either. So
either that or are we going to have a non-American president, which I don't think is legal.
That's what I think he's thinking. That's what I think he's saying.
Yeah, that's what I think he's thinking too. I don't think he's thinking Armageddon. I'm thinking he's thinking, well, who's coming next? Muslim? Who's coming?
Yeah, but you can't be non-American and run for president. That's what's kind of crazy.
That's true too.
Yeah,
that's true. You know what I predict? Since we're all predicting, this is my prediction.
Okay. Good.
We're here, right? We're here. I predict Biden's going to win again. I predict he's going to die, or he's going to get so fucked up in the brain he won't be able to go forward, and we're going to have the first female Black president, and the MAGA folks are going to lose their fucking minds. That's my prediction, okay? And if that comes true, which I think it is, because my Taino is speaking to me, my foremothers, and I am indigenous, and we're usually always right. I want dinner from everybody. Boop.
All right.
I need to get some sage.
And my prediction is just that we're going to have a very.
I'm gonna need a better frame. I'm gonna need a better frame, AD.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a better frame, AD. Come on. Don't disrespect me like that, bruh.
Frame, internet, all that.
Wi-Fi. I'm gonna need Wi-Fi. I'm gonna need Wi-Fi. Right. He came up here like this. How you doing, everybody?
Looking like James, RIP.
All right. Lily, the disrespect. I love when someone's more disrespectful than I am. Oh my goodness. The rulers back said, Jen, you seen they said in Georgia booking that Trump is 6'3" and 215. I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap as well.
Right.
I
big
think he is
cap.
over 6 foot.
I've seen him. He's a big guy.
No, not the height, the weight.
The weight is what I'm.
The weight.
Okay,
because I know he's tall. His whole family's tall. I know he's tall. He's not 215. What the fuck was that?
That was loud as hell.
Yeah, CIA getting us. No, Saint, tell your people to chill.
Let me mute my phone. That was me. Let me mute.
Oh, figured. Coming in late, blurry, no Wi-Fi. You killing me. And this is an AD, guys. Okay. All right. So glad everybody could be here. I'm telling you, I'm still at my adrenaline. I got Brandon here tripping, pulling my pants off. All right. Hi, everybody. How are you? Let's take a deep breath. Okay. So, Dan, this was such a juicy topic, but I guess we can get into the nitty gritty because that's interesting as well. Distinguished gentleman says it means the last voter picked president. Is that what that? Explain yourself, if you're here. So what does that mean?
It's closer to the Armageddon concept, but not, in the manner of like the world is going to explode or whatsoever. Just the fall of America. Like he's going to just cause the decline of Western civilization, and the whole infrastructure is going to collapse under his leadership, and he would be the last American president. And America won't be the same as we know it. It could be a republic, or it could be anything at that point. If he gets back in office, he'll be the last American president. Huh?
Y'all give this guy a lot of props, man. One motherfucker think he's the Antichrist, and another motherfucker think that he's it's going to lead to the.
I don't think it's props. I think it's the opposite of props, because I think it's the opposite.
Right.
Let me rephrase that. I don't think he's that impactful. I don't think he's.
I have to agree with this.
I don't it's not being impactful. It's about not being qualified. I don't
think he's that impactful, and I don't think he's that qualified. We're already at that point that no matter who else gets in, we're going to have that happen under whoever's leadership.
That's my whole point. You motherfuckers fucked up. Period. Trump ain't.
But the thing is, this is why.
But Trump would make it worse.
Agree. But I feel like
it worse.
Trump would speed up the inevitable.
Whoever's in Trump's the diehards that were trying to subvert the election this time around know what they did wrong. This is why I'm saying it could be possible what this is saying is true, because now they know all the mistakes they made. So this time around, if he doesn't want to leave office, he's gonna. Okay, this didn't work. Let's go with this. Let's try this.
Exactly. He's enough of a megalomaniac to sit up there and say, you know what? I'm going to set up my own banana republic out of this country. We're going to carve out certain sections of it, and it's ours. And this is going to be Trump land at this point. Like,
meh. But they ran him off of X, formerly known as Twitter. They ran him off of X. And he went to another place, and he didn't create a whole empire over there. A couple of people went over there so they could still hear him talk shit, but it's not like the whole country ran over there and left Twitter. Nah. I do agree though. If he gets back in, he's gonna fuck it up even worse. I do agree with that. But my vote is still Biden's not going to make it some way, somehow, and Kamala's going to be president. I mean, that's that's my prediction. We did it, Joe. We did it. We did it, Joe.
That sounds about right on that end for sure.
I mean, it would be like the coup de grace. It would be the funniest thing to get a black female president by default, like by mistake. I'm telling you, it just would be. I think that's where we're headed. Listen, I'm a fan of Kamala. You know, oh well, whoever ain't. Yes, and her prosecutorial record. Fuck off. Yeah, she locked up black people. Stop committing crimes in my Candace Owens voice. Fuck y'all. Woo, it's a night. All right, guys. So, all right. So tonight's topic, and yes, I asked this way on purpose. Are men tired of being men? Are men tired of being men? Halle Berry ordered to pay $8,000 a month to her ex-husband, but it doesn't stop there. Whenever she makes over $2 million, she has to give him a percentage. So when I'm asking the question, you would think, knowing Jen, I'm being insulting to men, but I'm actually not. We got some gentlemen on the panel, and I would really like to know, are men tired of being men? What do you mean, Jen? Well, I hear it parroted a lot that through social media, now men have a space to talk because they were used to be silenced. They never had a place to talk before. Now they can talk. We hear that a lot in the red pill and in the manosphere, right? A lot of men say they suffer in silence. Men cry in the dark. There's so many themes about men just being burdened with masculinity and nobody talks to them. They take it all to the chest and they're quiet and they make money and they come home and nobody cares what they think, what they feel, and never cry. Are men tired of being men? And I want to ask also, what kind of man, because there are a lot of them, what kind of man would celebrate that a woman has to pay a man child support, alimony, what have you? This is happening. This also happened with Britney, right? Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige.
And yes, but this is the second time it happened to Halle. And it happened with Eric Benet, and she had to pay child support for his child. And I think she has to pay child support for this particular person's child as well.
Yeah, because it said child support. So what kind of man would celebrate this?
Paying it, right?
Of course, because she has more money.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. This is equality. Mm-hmm. This is equality. This is what you wanted. And now you got it. You didn't want that kind of equality. Now,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. First of all, I am not in that y'all or we. Okay, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm a very.
Okay. Let me just make it general. The those that have clamored so much about equality and so on and so forth. This is what you got, and I mean, this is what I'll tell you from a personal story. Mm-hmm. My mother was ordered to pay child support for me, and she bitched and bitched and bitched, and it wasn't because she made more money. It was because, it's kind of like, how the states work, and it's whatever the percentage is, whoever makes more. And she was forced into doing it. And the judge told her, this is like 40 some odd years ago, but tell her that, hey, look, I tell these men all the time, they got to pay, you're going to pay. And so kind of like what I'm seeing, I read the article on it, and it says kind of like the way I read the article, they drug this out for 8 years, and she's kind of like, she seems like she's good with it, because she was talking about she was going to pay $55,000 for her ex-husband's attorney's fees. And it's like 4.3, the thing that she talked about, 4.3% above 2 million every dollar, is for the child support on that. So, if there are all women out there upset about this and think this is wrong, I'm just saying, well, come on now. I mean, it's, it's got to, if we're going to have equality and all this stuff and everybody looked at the same, then this is just part of the game.
Well, she got it. She has the money. She's worth more than him. So that's great. But I do find it interesting that men celebrate it, right? It seems like men celebrate whenever women catch an L. But let's say you heard, let's say you heard a man is getting paid $10 million and a woman, because of equality, is getting paid $10 million as well to do the same job, men don't celebrate that. You celebrate when you think a woman lost something. And that's the pattern on social media, right? If a guy hits a woman, you wanted equality. You wanted equality. So he hit you, hit him back, you want equality. Or I don't open doors anymore. You wanted equality. So I don't open doors. I don't carry bags. You want equality. Whenever it's an L, then men, you know what I mean, beat their chest about, oh, look, yeah, I wanted equality. But when a woman is getting the same thing as a man or benefiting in the same way because of equality, you guys are mum's the word. You don't celebrate that.
Why should we celebrate it?
Why not?
Well, because they're getting paid the same. I thought, it's kind of like if you accept the concept of equality, then if she's getting paid the same as you, then why would you need to celebrate it?
Well, why are men celebrating when a woman has to pay child support then? Why are they celebrating? It's just equal.
And here's where, and this is, you kind of touched on it earlier about men feeling disenfranchised and stuff like that through the court system and child support and all that kind of stuff that's happened. And the whole business about how, all the different abuses you've seen come out. And I think that's probably where that comes from. And that's my take on it.
So is it the men that want equality?
Can I say that? Can I, Haram, just before you go, I just wanted, because the point is going kind of far away, and I just want to just address the point. George, women didn't want equality. They wanted equal rights. They wanted to have the ability to vote, to be able to work, to get equal pay. It wasn't necessarily that they wanted equality. Like, okay, but they want to have the rights that were available to their male counterparts. So that's really the point. And I don't see why we shouldn't celebrate, since there are other half at any point. Any accomplishment societally should be supported by their other half.
Well, Ish, I think do you go by Ish or Ishmael?
You can call me Ish, it's fine.
Okay, all right, Ish. You're right. In the early 60s and before, and even before that, women's suffrage, it was about equal rights. But somewhere along the line, probably in the 70s and 80s, it shifted. The dialogue shifted to, once they had equal rights and all this sort of stuff, then it became about the pay gap. Then it became about they were trying to punch through a glass ceiling. And I'm not saying none of these things, like the glass ceiling, wasn't real, but it's like you look at colleges now, there are more women in colleges now than men. There are more women graduating with degrees than men. More women are, I think, I'd have to go dig the stat up, but I believe on the whole, they are getting paid more than men on average for whatever given job you're talking about. And so all the signs I'm talking about equality is what I see on the news, on the TV, when they're holding up the signs and all that stuff. They don't hold up the sign that says, I want equal rights. It's always about, this is about equality, equity. They use those kinds of terms. And so that's basically
I just want to, say something real quick, because it's just a lot of bullshit on both sides when it comes to this shit right here. First of all, this is child support. This is about children, man.
Your mic is sizzling, No Saint. Go ahead, Haran.
Yeah, this is, this is about child support. A lot of people are missing, the whole point behind this. It's about children. This isn't about revenge fantasies and so on and so forth. And yeah, we can sit down and have a discussion about, how the child support laws are unfair and so on and so forth. So if it's going to be unfair, then it needs to be unfair regardless of who gets hit with the fucking bill. If women get hit with the bill, then it should be unfair too. That's number one. Okay. Now, if we're going to sit here and talk about equality and so on and so forth, then let her have her high body count then. Why we were discussing, going back to traditional times, if the moment this shit happens, you're like, well, this is equality. And why? And if you're on the side of that fence, why are you okay with a dude living off of a woman?
Ooh.
That's the part that now
getting not only child support but also getting alimony. If you're gonna be laid up with a woman under her roof, she's making more money than you, and she is the breadwinner, and then something happens and you want to swing your shit around like you're the man of the house. Actually, you're not. You're really not.
We got somebody fantasizing in the chat. City boys, we up. You'll never have a Halle Berry, honey. You'll never be up like that. Shush.
So you know what I mean. My point is that, you know what I mean. I personally wouldn't. I'm not taking no alimony. I'm not taking a dime from a woman.
Go ahead, baby. That's right. Big dicks are talking right now. Let's go, Haran.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not doing that shit. That's on them. That's your business. You know. But if you're gonna talk about traditionalism, stand on the side of traditionalism. Don't jump up and holler and scream the moment the woman fucking gets it because a couple of dudes have got it, which a couple of men have got it. Like, there's some dudes who got hit with some child support payments, and I'm like, shit. I know some regular dudes, like good dudes, who got hit with some child support bills that ruined them.
Yeah.
Ruined them. Okay.
Yes,
so, but on the other half, y'all don't want to talk about the dudes with like 4, 5, 6 fucking kids who ain't paying for none of their kids.
Oh,
right.
With that said, before we pass the mic, mute your mic till you talk. No, Saint. Before we pass the mic, I will say this. Again, you're mad at women for taking advantage of laws that you all put in place. So when you say you wanted equality, then I can throw a generalization back at you and say you wrote the laws. Right? Because men made those laws. Men made the laws. Men are the ones that are robbing other men and giving it to women.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's so it's like the rich get richer and all the crabs fight each other. You're taking my money. I can't move on with my life. And I'm taking your child. And who's on top laughing from their yacht? Because their shit is paid up because they're millionaires and billionaires.
Fact.
No, Saint, you was going to say something?
Yeah. So the laws are fair. And so I'm not celebrating the woman like Halle Berry taking a loss, but the laws are fair. And that's what you're seeing play out. That's not like a judge went out of his way to get back for the men. No, that's what the law says. That's if it's child support, that is for the children. And I don't have a problem. And obviously she was the one making the money, the majority of the money. So I have no problem with her paying it, just like I have no problem for the men who have children that have to step up and pay it. It's not, people look at child support as if somehow, and it's usually the men that are, because why is it usually the men paying? Because normally it's the women who are taking care of the kids, living, feeding, getting up, dressing them, all that. Believe me, guys get off easy paying child support.
Sure fucking do.
Get up, go find out how much child care costs and then start complaining about child support, because child care is expensive. And so it's fair. In Louisiana, the law is, I've seen them. They're fair. It's not like they say, oh, we're going to screw this guy. No, it's written out straight up. You make this amount of money, this is what you're going to pay in child support. And so with Halle Berry, it's the same exact thing. It's fair. It's not a win or a loss. It's just the law, and that's fair.
So what you're saying, and I'm looking at this because it's looking like the tides are turning because women are out earning and outperforming. So maybe because women are making more now, they're starting to pay more because they're starting to make more than the men. But mine goes back to what Haran said, which is the part that I get stuck at, and I can't get, like, I don't understand men who are okay with living off women. That's just my personal thing. That's just my personal bias. It's weird to me. Like, because a lot of times those particular men, they want to live off a woman, but still be treated like the man who doesn't live off of a woman. And
You're talking about alimony in that case, right, Wheelie? Not child support, but alimony.
Oh no, child support is a whole different thing if that's the situation. But I'm just saying alimony or like just alimony. living off a woman in the relationship or the marriage, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the really thing good. I was going to chime in. They're not the man's not living off the woman. If the man has custody of the children and that's the child support. Now you're talking about alimony, which that's different. That's different, and yeah, that's a little different. And a lot of time, you're right though. If the woman is the one who's out earning the man, then they're going to be the one that has to pay the alimony. That's a fact. But child support said, yeah. So that's the child support thing is different. Yeah. I know what you're saying though, as far as alimony goes. And I want to say something to what George was saying.
Hold on. I just want to acknowledge this because Lewis did say I missed it, and I did miss it. So thank you for the super chat. Louis Kanye says it's called equality. I hope it happens more. We need more women to get drafted. I call bullshit on that because and it sounds real hot and sexy until you're in a fucking foxhole. Okay. And there's a bitch there with cramps who can't lift her AK because she got a fucking headache. I mean, it sounds sexy, but let me tell you, even as a woman, you guys know I got a little chauvinist pig in me, or maybe a big pig. I do not know. But even as a woman, if I was in any type of war, I don't want to see a bitch coming to my rescue. Point blank, period. I said it. Fuck off.
Jen, you're called what's
wait 1 second. Wait 1 second, George. I've been in situations where the ops damn near had me pinned down. And when the cavalry came, it was my dudes. If it was 4 or 5 chicks, I'd have known I'd have died that night. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Now of course, listen, of course, there's an exception to every rule. I saw somebody say, women make great fighter pilots. Look, I don't listen. Okay, that's why I get insulted when they say, you wanted equality. I didn't want shit. I wasn't there. I like my bra. I didn't burn my bra. Not me. I would have been fucking happy with a man and some babies, nursing and baking pies. But no, here we are. And I got to fucking work, okay? That's not me. It was never. No one asked me.
We really having this conversation because of white women.
Okay, but I'm just saying, no, more women shouldn't be drafted. It's a danger to men. I said it. Just like when I see police officers and you see that one woman, they get calling on her radio because somebody's whooping her ass. Why? Because she's a woman and she's not built to wrestle two men. I need backup. I need backup.
I don't know. You sent a video today. I saw some woman take a man out.
An elderly man who is moving this slow.
She has some good footwork.
An elderly man.
That woman was about
yeah.
Built like a
and she was a stud. Pussy makes you strong. And she was a stud.
That's my problem. So be more careful.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say that there was a time where the women weren't really in the military, but you can't. I understand what Jen's saying. There are certain positions, and usually those positions have a high qualification route. Normally, I know there's some Army guys that they go to front line, but a lot of the times women are like in the back. They're the second. They're doing other jobs, normally not frontline jobs. And as to that person's point, there are jobs that women can do now that they won't be on the front line, and they can be lethal. If it's drones, controlling drones. I mean, fighter pilots can get captured, but I get what you're saying. Like, if it's something that has to be a physical thing, then you would rather have the men doing it. But if it's something, but there are plenty of opportunities. I don't think women should not be in the military. I think they should definitely
listen. Unless she's built like Serena Williams or some shit. It's like, I'd rather see a man coming to my rescue. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Well, imagine like as a fireman, saying you don't have to comment here if you don't want to, but I know here in where I live, when women were coming onto the fire department, I know some friends who were firemen said that they didn't have to, or like the qualification standards, saying I don't know all of them, but like I think one of them's where you got to drag a dummy like so many feet and all that, and it was kind of like they struggled doing that. And I said, well, what's going to happen whenever you got a house on fire and they're in there with you? And they said, I hope I'm not in a house on fire with them in here with me because I'm worried about my own safety.
Yeah, well, we have a woman right now that's just came in like about a month ago, and 4 out of the 5 women that I've worked with were qualified. Were really qualified. There was one where we were like, oh shoot, but most of them, and a lot of the times you'll find that they have that chip on their shoulder to make sure that they can do everything you can do because they have a chip on their shoulder. They're like, I'm not going to be the weak link. You know what I mean? So it depends.
Actually a good thing in that case.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, girl power, power to the women. We are strong. We could do anything a man could. All that's great. Great. That it's awesome. If anyone's in trouble and there's no one else around, I'm sure they'd love to see a woman coming around. Great. I am just saying, if I had the choice, okay?
You're on 911.
Right. Yes. Yes, please, yeah. And send them expeditiously. Okay, send them expeditiously.
The found one, preferably, please.
It's not being disrespectful. Look, listen, man. Like, linemen aren't built like running backs for a reason. You know what I mean? They're two different jobs. So it's the consideration is that, okay, this guy's holding the line. He has to be built a certain fucking way. You know what I mean? If this guy's a running back, he's got to be built a certain fucking way. If some shit goes down, and am I sitting here and saying that, yeah, a woman is incapable of actually helping and so on? I'm not saying. I'm just saying that 9 times out of 10, if my life's on the line, I want a guy to show up.
Right. And I'm not by any means saying women aren't capable. There are women that can do amazing things, and they have been firefighters and fighter pilots. And that is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, given the choice, no different than me. Okay, here I am, a woman, right? If I had a choice between, let's say, my nephew or my niece and kids, 16, 17 years old. If I had a choice between my nephew and my niece having to do something, I'm going to call my nephew, hey, come outside, help me with this shit outside. I'm not going to call my niece, and I think my niece is amazing, right? So it's just, that's all it is. It's not oh, dude, you know what I mean? Thank you for the super chat. Louis Kanye says, I was in a foxhole. I knew female Marines who were hardcore. It was a pleasure to serve with them. Yes, sir. I'm sure, it's a pleasure to serve with them. Again, if I was in a foxhole, I want to see the guys coming. I'm sorry. That's my story.
That sounds like they might be more to that story. In a foxhole.
Literally and figuratively.
It's
right?
a pleasure to serve with them.
I'm like, hey.
Are you insinuating what I think you're insinuating? I've heard shout out to the women. Shout out to the women. There you go. Girl power.
I think when you were in the Air Force, where there are a lot more women in the Air Force, and they're doing, I would think they would be. They might, if you took like all the branches,
Probably. I don't know what the numbers are, but I would imagine, there are probably more women in the Air Force.
per however you want to say it, per 100 or whatever.
Yeah, I usually see them going to either Air Force or Coast Guard. I see a lot of them in the Coast Guard. Yeah.
Okay. Someone said we look like we sound or we are a panel of Democrats. Who's a Democrat up here? Any Democrats?
I'm not political, so I don't.
Because I don't vote. You're independent.
Yeah.
George, what are you?
I'm a Republican / Libertarian. Got rid of that. I'm a no party affiliation, independent, basically.
And no Saint, what are you?
Independent.
All right, so the guy was not wrong, but loud and wrong. Because there's 0 Democrats here. So he was loud.
I appreciate your service, sir.
Louis Kanye, thank you for your service. No Saint, thank you for your service and your continued service as a firefighter. Salute to you, sir. Louis Kanye, what say you? I know you up here, you are fighting for the ladies, and we appreciate that. As a woman, I say I appreciate that. But I'd rather see you than Penelope coming to get me out the foxhole. But go ahead. I digress.
Could you say that again? When I hopped on, my AirPods synced off.
Oh, it's okay. Just tell us what you're thinking so far about the stream.
Oh, I love it. I'm always donating and supporting the show.
And we appreciate you. Thank you so much. You were saying something about the topic, though.
Oh, I mean, I don't think people are celebrating because she has to pay. I think, well, it is a segment of that, but I think a lot of people are celebrating because it's the ones that get extremely hurt, like as Haran said, that get raked over through child support. And unfortunately, there is a segment of people that use marriage as a weapon in order to divorce. But unfortunately, those men made poor choices into marrying those women. But I think it's just a moral victory for a lot of the men that got hurt over by the system. And you was absolutely right that the men is the ones that made the laws in the system what it is. So it is what it is. Like I have no dog in the fight whatsoever. I'm happily married, and I have the realistic outlook that not everything lasts forever. So, and that's the byproduct of when you get in these relationships. If it's marriage or long term, you're going to take a loss sooner or later. Sorry. So Halle Berry, she took her loss, and fortunate for her, she got the money to deal with that loss
and the ability to make more money and more money.
Yeah, the former husband, he's gonna have to live on that. But she has a talent, and her beauty is a resource, so she can get any role and recoup that, and at a wink of an eye. So
yep.
Because like the guys that we use as examples or earlier that collected alimony from the first Halle situation, and Mary J. Blige and Wendy Williams,
Jennifer
and all
Lopez.
they're all broke. They're all broke. All of them.
Can I say something right quick, Jen?
So you're saying, wait a minute. So there's something interesting there, Lily. So you're saying, Jennifer Lopez. What is it? What? Allegedly, supposedly, if you listen to Google, Jennifer Lopez is worth $400 million, allegedly, supposedly. So she paid 2 of her ex-husbands, because she was married, 4 times now? We're going 4. She married the waiter. She gave him money. She married the background dancer. She gave him $11 million. So, she's also doing that. But you made a great point, Lily. You said that those women who were raked over the coals from those men taking the money from them, now they're broke, right? Mm-hmm. So then it's the same. Then we see how it's the same, because I told you before, I don't like dating men who have a lot of kids, because they're usually strapped for cash, because they're paying a lot of child support. So it goes both ways then. So then there's proof that when you're paying an absurd amount of alimony or child support, it can fuck your life up.
Oh no, I'm saying that the men are all broke.
Oh, the men are broke. Okay.
The men are all broke. And it goes to what Lewis was saying.
Kanye?
The fact that the women still have earning potential. The men don't.
Yeah, and I think it has something to do with I think it has something to do like when someone wins a lottery and they don't know how to manage the money. It comes in too easy. It's free. Right. They're not working for it, so they blow it. I think that has
the money is endless. It's an unlimited amount of resources, and it's not. I also do want to put out there that Halle and a number of the women that you just mentioned, Lily. Halle, at a particular time, I noticed that she started dating men that I guess in terms of power dynamics in the relationship, she was the one with the power. Like after she finished dealing with David Justice, Wesley Snipes, so on and so forth, she started dealing with, I guess, regular models, actors who weren't working that much, what I mean? Basically people she can, I guess we can say to some degree, control. Basically people she had some sort of upper hand over. But you see, the downside of things like that is that when you get too involved with people like that, like per se get married or have a child with, then you have you put yourself in a situation where you have a financial obligation to that person. Now, if you're just dealing with that person, you're just dating them and shit like that or whatever, and nothing comes out of it, then boom, you can just walk away. But once you have children with people who have less than you, once you have children who don't have the resources that you have, you put yourself in a vulnerable state. You know what I mean? And this goes for men too, because a lot of men go out there and they go fuck around with some chick. You know what I mean? She ain't got nothing. She ain't got shit. She probably got 4 or 5 other fucking kids along with yours. You know what I mean? And then now you're financially obligated to her because you actually got something. She ain't got shit. So she'll always be in your pockets. Like I said, the main reason why I'm not having any more children because I don't want another woman in my pockets. I don't give a fuck how that sounds.
You smart. You smart.
But I wanted to chime in. You're absolutely right, Haran. I mean, she wasn't dating a peer. She wasn't that, and that's partially why the number is what it is, because again, these are Halle Berry's children, and they have to go to a private school or a special school so that they're not bullied or go into all the kind of things that could happen or could be stalked upon or anything else. So all these things come with how the laws are set up for California, that you have to keep a certain level of lifestyle. And because she didn't marry a peer or somebody who was making that kind of money, who could have just paid, could have been like, because they have joint custody and shared custody, so shared visitation. So technically, she shouldn't have to be paying anything, and neither should he. But he obviously cannot keep up with the lifestyle that is required to maintain her children, and that's why the number is what it is.
Yeah, I understood the whole. I think he's breaking up.
Louis, you froze.
Yeah,
YouTube press no. YouTube press says, so you'd rather me in a foxhole with you, Jen, than a well-trained female Marine. I don't think so. No, that's nonsensical what you just said. In that situation, if there are two Marines, I'd rather the man. Comprende? Not some dude I don't know his ass from his face in a foxhole with me. So if you change the scenario, then yes, my answer will change. Right? I'm still team man for shit like that. Sorry, not sorry. Louis, you were saying? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm fixed. I am fixed to that fucking.
Can I be heard clearly?
Yes.
It's about the military thing, and I apologize for going off subject a little bit, but if you're in a foreign country, you're on the front lines, plain and simple. And there's no such thing as a front or rear when you're at war, because you're in enemy territory. And there have been plenty of times where you have people that's in logistics or support groups that was attacked by the enemy. And when you're in a foreign country on their land, you're on the front line. And I know plenty of women. As a matter of fact, recently I hooked up with some individuals from my elementary school. And it was like 10 females that did over 20 years in the military, and they served valiantly. So when you're in the military and this country goes to war, you're going to be on the front lines because you're encircled by the enemy. So, and I know plenty of women. I can only speak in the Marine Corps. All the females I knew, they served with honor. And I wouldn't mind being in a firefight with them, because at the end of the day, we're brothers and sisters.
Okay, I think.
My mic.
Okay, yeah, I think that's beautiful. I think people are misinterpreting what I'm saying. Does everybody else get what I'm saying? Let's take it out of the military. Let's take it out of the military. I'm outside. A log fell on my leg. I'd rather a man come down the block and help me. Is that better? Because we're not talking down on women. I'm just saying I am old-fashioned in a lot of ways, and I know for a fact that men are better at a lot more physically than women are. They're also very tactical. They're also very black and white and logical, where women panic. I've been in situations with women and they're panicking and screaming, and I'd had to slap on or shake them up, because that's the risk you take. All right, when you're dealing with women. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying women are ogres and they're horrible and they're not good for nothing but breeding. I am not saying any of that. I'm just saying outside, log fell on Jen's leg. I want the guy to come. If two girls come and they working with EMS, I'm fucked. Am I not? I got to wait for the fire department to get there or two guys to get there from the EMS. That is all I'm saying. So salute to everybody who served, man, woman, small child, gay, straight, whatever. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is men are better at a lot of shit that women are trying to do now. That is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you go to YouTube and you start pulling up female police officer gets into fight, she's usually getting her ass whipped until she gets on her radio. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. But salute to the ladies. I'm a strong woman. I get it. I get it.
I know some real strong, kick-ass women. I've dated a couple.
Too.
One time before, though, a goddamn squirrel got into the house, I was on my way to the train station, and I was halfway there. My fucking girl ran down the goddamn street screaming and yelling, "There's a motherfucking squirrel in the house! Get this shit out the goddamn house right now!" And I'm just like halfway where I am, going where I am. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's go. She's panicking. She's all this other strong woman. Know how to cut $1 million deal in the whole 9 yards. Scared of a little bitty squirrel. I had to go back to my house to get this motherfucking squirrel out the goddamn house. After I got the squirrel out, I was able to, go about my goddamn business. So
and let me just say that
she didn't call her mama. She got me. Anyway, go ahead.
Right. Trolling on the block says, this is the most red pill talking points I've ever heard from Jen. The funny thing is that a lot of people have told me I sound red pill. A lot of people told me that I sound like a Republican. A lot of people told me I sound like a conservative. Like I'm not just one idea or one thought. I just think about what's fair, right? In my mind, what's fair. This is what's fair. But I said before I even started talking, I'm a chauvinist pig. A lot of people say I'm a chauvinist pig as well, and that's fine. I just that's what it is, man. Sorry, not sorry. And here's the thing too. As a single woman, if there's a freaking water bug or a lizard, I have to do it. But if there's a man in the house, I'm like, there's a bug here. I'm also that girl. But when I'm alone, I got to get that fucker. I got to get it by myself, right? But
so if there's a German flying cockroach in your house right now, you'd have to go take him out. But if Ron or No Saint was there, you're like, hey, get in there. There's a fucking flying bug in the. But if I'm there, I'm gonna do it, George, and I'm gonna be pissed because I've done it before. I'll come with the broom and I'm chasing it, and I'm pissed off because I'm like, this isn't my job. Nobody has me.
That's how I feel about taking out the trash. Like I'll do it because I have to, but the moment a man is out, act like I've never taken out trash a day in my life. Like
trash.
Man, I feel like I tell these girls all the time, I feel that way about cooking. I don't like cooking shit. It's a woman's job.
What? Oh, you suppressing stupid.
What I'm hearing is basically Jen and the other people on the panel and myself, and I tend to agree with this. That means that the two sexes are, generally speaking, they've got a set of skills and abilities that are just natural to them. And I'm talking like women tend to be better nurturers of children,
absolutely.
They tend to be. That's just the way it is. And then, but then when the kid gets older, like a boy, they need to be, the man in the house needs to model the masculinity for that kid.
Yeah.
And so there you go. I mean, it's kind of like, damn, why can't, I guess I'm asking a rhetorical question, but I don't understand why the rest of society can't understand this basic.
Look, listen. If we're in child, if we're in divorce court or whatever, and we're talking about child custody, if that child isn't a teenager or isn't on the way to becoming a preteen, I'm not fighting for that child to come live with me. The child needs to stay with the mother. Okay, period.
I think that's cruel.
Nurturing that shared custody, though. Obviously,
we can share custody and so on, but the child needs to stay with the mother for a second. Right. After a while, that child needs to come with me. And OG told me that. He told me that a child should stay, close to the mother up to a particular age, and then after a particular age, a man needs to step in and basically say, "Hey, okay, that stuff that your mom told you, get rid of that shit. This is the real world. This is how this shit fucking works." Now, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see an issue with that.
I think to answer George's questions, why the rest of the world can't see it like that, because I think humans are going to human. And the problem with the gender roles is that people take advantage of them. I think men took advantage of them first, and that's what made women fight for equal rights or equality or whatever the fuck it is. And then women, the pendulum swung all the way over to the other side, and women, be clear, used the laws implemented by men to fuck other men over. So it's like it just swung all the way to the other side. And now I get blamed and nobody asked me.
I completely agree with you, Jen. This whole thing, all the way back to, I know y'all don't believe in the Garden of Eden, but all the way back in the Garden of Eden, Adam should have took that damn apple from Eve and said, "Why are you listening to that jive-ass snake?" and threw it away.
Not the jive-ass snake.
Right.
And so it all started right there. And being, jokes aside, but no, I really do believe that as men in this country, we've laid down on the job, and it's time to get it back. And then I think a lot of this stuff will come back into balance, you know.
I think so too. And shit, if I was in the garden, I would have made a pie, George. I would have took that apple and made a fucking apple pie for Adam. I would have, because no one asked me.
You would have told Adam, don't you tell me what to do. I'm gonna, you know.
I would have made a pie, George.
Yeah, because it says in there that she gave it to him and he ate it. It's almost like the way I picture it in my mind. She's like, here, you eat it, you know, and he's like, you know, okay, you know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's from the book of George right there. So anyway, sermon's over. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah. Won't he do it?
All the time.
Pass the charity bucket.
Can I say something? Is it okay?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I got to drop tonight, but man, this was good. It's good. As usual. Yeah. So
thanks for coming through.
Yeah.
Thanks, George.
All right, you guys. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Love you back. See you tomorrow if you can. Right. Okay. Bye. Woo, now it's a party, honey. And we're only an hour in. What are we doing? Are we going to continue or are we going to quit?
Let's keep going. Let's talk some shit. Let's see what else is going on. Anybody else do something stupid today or what?
Okay, so just really quickly, going back to Halle, because Halle is a juicy topic, right? She's had some very interesting mates, right? A couple of guys. There's like literally a Halle support group. Remember Dave Justice and Eric Benet came out and he was like, "Yeah, that bitch is crazy," basically. And Eric Benet was like, "Yeah, she treated my daughter a certain type of way." So she's had a very interesting dating/marriage life, but I think it just comes with, these women are powerful. They have a lot of money. And I think maybe having someone on their level or as powerful as them, as rich as them, just doesn't really work out because those men, it's not a big deal that they're with a Halle Berry. It'll be a big deal for the average Joe to be with a Halle Berry. But, even with Jennifer Lopez, everybody's like, ah. But then you got Alex Rodriguez and he's like, bitch, I'm worth, 500 million. And your ass, I've seen better asses, in Brazil when I go every fucking other weekend. So I think it's just hard for these women in general because it's like, it's safer to go with the guy that has less, but then what do you say, Lily? You pay on the back end because if you have a kid with them, like Karan said, or you get married, you're fucked.
Right.
It's hard for a successful woman who's a public figure. That shit is difficult when it comes to dating because you're dealing with a couple of things. But you notice when women get to that level of Halle Berry, or Whoopi Goldberg, or Oprah Winfrey, or Mariah Carey, they all end up getting the bus driver guy. Right. Mm-hmm. Because pretty much of what you said, right? It's like, it's not that they want somebody, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword. Either way, it's a double-edged sword.
It is. And I can, Lily, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I can admit, I'll put myself in the hot seat again. I've done it. Okay. I'm not Halle Berry. I'm not Jennifer Lopez. I'm still cute, bitch. Don't get it twisted. I'm not, I'm not worth $400 million, but I've done it. Right. I've had men that I've dated that were, huge tax bracket, hella fine, all of that. But they were a problem. And what I've done is purposely, I'll be like, oh, this guy will be happy to be with me. I've done it. I confess. I'm like, this guy be happy to be with me. He's going to worship the fucking ground I walk on. He's not really going to cheat. He's kind of square. But then you pay on the back end, right? There's shit that you got to sacrifice to be with that guy. It's not going to be, let's go on vacation every year. And I'm going to have to put in more money than I want to fucking put in. So it's like, oh, it is a double-edged sword. It's like, this guy's better to have around, but that guy's more fun, right? And that guy has more money and that guy has more status. So it's like, you really have to buckle down and decide what it is you can live with, I can say. What can you live with and what are your deal breakers? Is it better to just be with that, the la creme de la creme and understand he may cheat, he may not be around all the time, or are you going to stick with the guy that quote unquote, lesser than you, just going to be happy to be there. It is a double-edged sword, and I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides.
Yep.
Hey, Jen, I got a
let me say,
Huh? Who's talking?
Which side do you prefer?
My
well,
side.
I was gonna say, you know, with Halle's situation, her issues with David Justice was that he wanted a quote unquote Barbie doll. He wasn't able to deal with a real woman, you know, who may wake up in the morning with cramps and bloated and the whole nine. Eric Benet's issue was that he got tired of being called Mr. Halle Berry when he was an R&B singer, soulful, sexy, and not that whole situation. So she's having she's always going to have some form of difficulty, and I agree with you. Because even Eric Benet was just in a position where he just had to go get the groceries, go pick up the kid after school. Like he became like the housewife. Because you got a woman with power now. You as the man, you're not the protector and provider because she has all the money or she has the most money. She can hire security, so you're not stuck in a situation of being a protector and provider. So now, what role do you have? You're the personal assistant. You're this person that shows up on the red carpet, and that's it.
And under those circumstances, you should be fine with being called Mr. Halle Berry because what else they gonna call you? Because what else they gonna fucking call you?
So let me throw in my 2 cents here as well. Seeing as I'm a woman. So with Dave Justice, I heard something else. And with Eric Benet, I heard something else, right? With Dave Justice, I heard that she was not supportive. She wasn't there for him like he was there for her. She wanted him at all the red carpet. She wanted him at his beck and call. And, you know, when he was playing his games and he was all, you know, she was never supportive of him in his world, right? Now, Dave Justice ain't no scrub. He got fat pockets too. So he wasn't a Mr. Halle Berry, okay? But he had issues being with her. And I think with him, I would, if I had to guess, hypothesis, if I had to guess, I would say it's that he wanted somebody, not so much a Barbie doll, okay? But maybe somebody who was not as famous or as rich as she was, because then that type of woman would be more doting to him. So I don't think it was he wanted a Barbie doll. No, he wanted a woman that was going to be sitting in the stands with his jersey on, cheering him on, being there for him, right? Because a man works so hard to get up to a $50 million tax bracket and his bitch can't show up to the game. Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem.
That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And with Eric Benet, the interview I saw was she wasn't who he thought she was going to be. A lot of people forget Halle Berry is half white, raised by her mother. So you are not looking at someone who was exactly raised up indigenous. Rock with me for a minute. An indigenous woman is a different type of catering woman, right? She came up under the arm of a white woman. That's a different type of woman. But aesthetically, she reads black. But you are talking to and dealing with and fucking a princess who grew up white. People forget that. They look at Halle, damn, that sister look good. All the while, she's a whole Becky.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
a whole
cultural difference.
Right. It's a cultural difference. She's a whole Becky personality-wise. She's not going to be that doting because she's rich, right? She's like, you know, it's all about me. I'm Halle Berry. Everybody wants me. So I think that's another factor. So when I believe Dave Justice, I read his whole spiel. And then with Eric Benet, you know, the interview I saw after the aftermath and now that he could talk about it was like he wasn't even a sexual, what did they say he was?
Addicted, sexual addicted.
Right.
He was like, right. He was saying that shit was not true. However, Halle's PR people, all of us discussed it, and it was arranged for me to say that, to not ruin her shit. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot there. You know, we just don't know unless we're there. But I like listening to both sides of it and then looking at the person. And Halle Berry is a white girl. She's a white girl. She's just, she reads indigenous.
She's not only a white girl in brown skin, but she is a poor white trash. She used the term that she comes from, because her mother wasn't like wealthy white. Her mother was like hood white, and that's the imbalance in that perspective. You know what I mean? So that's that comes with her.
When you look at Eric Benet, yeah, he was coerced into, well, damn near had to say, you know what I mean, what they told him to say, because I mean he has no power in the situation. David Justice would have told that bitch, man, fuck off out of here. I ain't saying shit. David Justice. You know what I mean? So, again, this goes for the Eric Benets of the world. This goes for, I don't know what the fuck his name was, that dude that was dealing with Keke Palmer and all these. This is what happens when you put yourself in situations where you get the short end of the stick as a man in the relationship. Okay, you always gonna get the fucking booby prize because you have no fucking standing. We have no fucking money. If the only thing you can do is breed and take care of the child and be a fucking nanny, and you're going to be treated as such. At the end of the day, people are people, man. I don't give a fuck what they tell you, what good intentions they have, and so on and so forth. After a while, you won't get treated like the help.
It's facts. It's facts.
Absolutely.
And when Haran's asked Jen earlier, what does she prefer, right? Because I've been on both sides. I prefer, actually, not. It goes beyond prefer. I learned that I cannot be in no serious relationship with a guy that makes less than me. It's just not going to work for many reasons. From both, and it's going to come from both of our sides. Like you said, Haran, like humans are human, right? So after a while, I'm going to start looking at him as my child, right? And then after a while, he's going to start feeling insecure. And then he's going to go cheat with someone lesser than me to kind of boost up his ego and self-esteem and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's a lot of different things I learned. Because I tried to do the whole love is all you need thing.
all you need is love and a good stroke. That's all you need, ladies. You're right.
Look, listen, man. We got a lot of dudes in here. We got a lot of dudes in these spaces. They talk a good game. A lot of these motherfuckers, they wouldn't. If they girl said "fuck you" tomorrow, they'd be fucked up. They'd either be fucked up or whatsoever, what have you.
Trolling on the block, I rebuke you. I strike you down, Satan. Get the holy water on you. Throw the holy water on him. Exercise that man. He said, I recommend women go through a little struggle love with a man. It builds character for them and they're more likely to be loyal. Support him when he's broken. If he makes it big, she'll be set. Fuck off. Fuck off. Ladies, if you're listening, never, ever do struggle love. I rebuke you. Holy water on that man. Get him out. Security.
That damn struggle love. Whoa.
Why can't you just have your shit together, then worry about dating?
Stop taking hostages. Please stop taking hostages.
Not hostages.
Man,
you know what? Let's turn up. Let's turn up. Let's turn up. No Saint. Hi, No Saint. I'm gonna ask you something, No Saint. I'm gonna ask you. This is a question. You can tell me the truth. When you were growing up in your little white world with your little white friends and your little white family members, was it common for you all guys to discuss that you needed to go find you a ride or die to build with? I'm just curious.
No.
No, Saint. You mean you didn't go out in the world and look for that woman to be your backbone and speak life into you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, would you
there was no such discussion. There was no such Yeah, no, there was no such.
Funny how white men don't have these discussions, but black brothers, they be like, yeah, you got to go out there. You got to make sure you got a woman that'll hold you down, my nigga. You know,
builds character.
Here's the thing. Here's why this is bullshit. Like
the plan to fail.
Bud Crawford, he just won the championship or whatever. Brilliant performance, a boxer. You know, and they showed his baby mother. His baby mother's the overweight girl. She held him down. She did the whole shit. She did the struggle love. She, you know, it's a good baby mother. The moment motherfuckers found the girl, they said, "Oh, he need to trade her in. He on top of the world."
Oh, I saw that.
They was like, she ugly. She blah blah blah. I'm like, wait. What happened? What happened to the struggle? What happened to, you know what I mean? She held you down and blah blah blah. See, shit like that is cool until you reach the top and motherfuckers start saying that, yeah, you need to trade in that motherfucking that Ultima nigga. You get Lamborghini money now.
Right.
So, listen, I think that most women, at least the ones that are worth, know their worth, they may go with you when you are struggling, but they have to definitely see there's a lot of potential, and that potential is going to be acted upon, and that potential is going to be acted upon.
He said the P word.
You know I can't stand that word. Oh, don't.
No, but what I'm saying is, in other words, someone in graduate school that's going for his PhD might not have a lot of money, but that potential's there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's beyond potential. That's different. And you're in the process. See, like I'm a connect that with JB's comment. He says if you are struggling towards a common goal, I get it. But if he's destined to be a bum, then and so typically the guy who is looking for the ride or die is destined to be a bum, because the guy who is about his shit knows that he needs to get on his shit before he takes on a whole girl or a whole wife. He can fuck, you know what I'm saying? He can get some every now and then, but to take on a woman and possibly a child, then that guy is going to get his shit together first before he does that.
Hello.
I gotta ask a question. Would you?
Hey, Jen, I gotta dance, y'all. I gotta go be a parent.
Okay. All right. Bye.
I asked a question to the brothers in the chat. Would you date a woman who was like maybe 200 or 300 pounds and said to you like, "Hey, man, I really like I really like you, so on and so forth. I'm going to the gym. You know what I mean? I'm getting my life together, blah, blah, blah." I was wondering if you were willing to go through this struggle love and the struggle moment, life through me and so on and so forth. Because on the other end of this, I'm gonna be a size 2 and so on and so forth. But you gotta speak life into me. You gotta you gotta really pour it in on me. Would you say, yeah, I'm gonna give this 200, 300 pound woman a try? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And you're going to be seen with her in public. Would you do it?
Right. Of course they wouldn't do it.
She could be a great girl. She could be a great girl. She could be, it'll build character if you take this corpulent woman and you go through the struggle with her. It'll build character. And would you do it, brothers?
Build that character.
Of course they
build
would.
that character.
Of course.
You'll have a strong ass back after you finish dealing with that. I guarantee.
No, they're already saying no in the chat. Thank you for the super sticker, YouTube press, darling. And it's just ridiculous. Any man that's coming to you like that, you already know is full of shit. Most men, you know what I mean? It's funny when they try to compare, themselves to like Obama. They'll say like, well, you see you seen the movie, you read the book, Michelle got with him and he had holes in his car and he was He had the fire in him to be president of the United States. Is that the fire you're coming with, asshole?
I'm sure he was in law school too, because
he was.
Yeah.
He was.
The potential.
See, that's the thing. Those kind of careers are not easy to go through to school. I mean, you got to pass the bar exam, all these other things. Medical. You got to go through your. Yeah, those are different people. The people that are doing.
There's a difference between being a struggling rocket scientist.
Yeah.
Who can't do a job.
Yeah, like if she's asking you what's your plan and you're working at like Taco Bell and you're like, shift manager's next, and it's different. That's a little different.
And there's just something to be said, and it's cultural. I don't care who it offends. It's cultural. there's something to be said about a man that struggle it's normalcy in our communities. Like it's literally normal to the point where women get shamed if they're not down with the struggle. Oh, she left you. Oh, when you went to jail, she left you. Oh, when you lost your job, she left you. She left. Oh, you ain't no ride or die. A real woman will ride or die. Like women are shamed in our communities if they're not that ride or die, if they don't hold the man down. And I want us as women of color to stop this shit.
It's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose situation because they're going to be shamed if they do ride or die. Like it's a lose-lose situation, ladies. Like if you ride and then it doesn't work out and now you stuck with this bum and his kids, now they're like talking about see you look at you get with them Pookies and Ray Rays. But then if you don't get with Pookie and Ray Ray, you're a gold digger. Don't listen to none of that shit.
do what you must do. Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, if you don't pair bond as a woman early on with someone going in the same direction as you, you're pretty much capped financially later in life. You don't who's pair bonding here? Anybody pair bonding?
Pair bond.
Well, look, listen, any man that's 45 or above, that motherfucker ain't got no potential. He either got what he got.
You said 45, right?
He said
45. Hence why I like.
It's funny.
I've always
he says
liked older
that.
Guys.
It's funny he said that. I remember when I was in my late 20s. No, it's probably like closer to 25. But I remember like a friend of mine's mother-in-law saying that if they haven't found their niche by 40, it's over. And so you're saying 45, and that's I was like, ooh, I remember hearing that.
He's being nice. He's being nice, but I have that same thing, and honestly, that's one of the many reasons why I always dated older. Because I figured by 40, if you ain't got it together, you're not going to get it together. You're a perpetual bum. It is what it is. Yeah. So I don't, because I'm not. I learned, like I said, I learned early about the whole ride or die potential, all of that stuff. No, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time to get somebody else to do it.
You know, the more
that shit, talking that potential shit, he's just looking for a train to latch onto. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the more I sit on these panels, the more I get clarity on the way we look at things in our different cultures and the disadvantages. In other words, the pressure for me to at least, you know, be like where I'm at right now, at least be where I'm in the, you know, I don't know what you classify my income as, but at least be where I can support kids, do everything, you know, want for nothing, you know, not saying that we have everything, but, you know, insurance, blah, 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 right? The pressure coming out for me as a white person is there to at least meet that. Where hearing from what you guys are saying, there is a built-in excuse that you can be broke, and then the women should be there for you, even if you don't have a pot to piss in.
Heard it my whole life. I heard it my whole life.
You just put it right. Yeah, that's the expectation. Yes.
Heard it my whole life. And it's so damaging to young women in our communities. It's so damaging because we literally think something is wrong with us if we don't accept that broke guy. We're guilted into it. We're shamed into it. We see our relatives doing it. It's like, well, such and such is with Uncle blah, blah, blah. And Uncle blah, blah, blah don't got no money. That's real love. And it's such, you know what I mean? That's why I try to warn women in our, you know, in our circles, young, do not do it. Not worth it. I get it. He's cute. It's not worth it. You're on a planet of billions. You can at least get a guy that has real potential, right? And we know what fucking real potential is. We can see it. The guy in law school, the guy, you know what I mean? The guy who's studying to be whatever. We know what potential looks like. But these guys, they want that ride or die and that cushion just because they have a penis. And it's bad, man. That's how you end up with a bunch of kids and these motherfuckers are talking about you online. You choose the Pookie and Ray Ray. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth. Don't do it.
Look, I'm gonna say it like this: any man that needs a woman to help him build his life is not a real man. You can't build your fucking life on your own. You ain't nearly as tough as you said you are. You got a lot of these dudes out here. They talk a good game, but without a woman in their life, they are lost. They have no direction. Their entire identity is built on whether or not a woman accepts them. Entire identity.
That shit's fucking horrible. Like, and you don't see that at the
true,
beginning.
Though.
You don't see that
true,
at the
though.
beginning.
It's like, guys, and I've said this before, it is true. We, at least the way I understand it, it is very important to have someone in our life that, you know, and eye candy, the better the eye candy, it makes you feel better about yourself, you know, because not saying that it's all about the way someone looks, because, you know, that obviously, you know, that the whole saying that sometimes fades or whatever, but when you walk in and that, you know, person's on your shoulder, you know what you're doing. You're peacocking in front of all the other guys. Yeah, that's right. You know what I'm saying? But it is important. But what I want to, no, I was just gonna say, but what I want to say is when it comes to what a woman brings to what does a woman bring to the table financially, you should have the steak. The women should be the garnish. Like you should be the one bringing in the meat, you know, and that's the way it should be. The women, whatever they do, it should only be like table dressing for you. You shouldn't depend on that. You know, I'm not saying that she should have to make. I'm not saying, and that's not even saying like. I'm not even saying she might make as much as you. I'm just saying when it comes to taking care of your house, at least the way I've always felt is as a man, and I've heard Haran say this too, you shouldn't be depending on women. No. You should be taking care of things financially. Whatever the woman is making, that's just, you know, that's extra, but that's not what you should be dependent on.
Hello, you know what, Justin.
What's going on?
Just the dependence on people, period, is just, it's just too much, man. It's just this culture of dependence, man. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of these guys just don't find themselves, because there's this underlying belief that if they aren't accepted by anyone, you know what I mean, they're less than a person, less than a man, less than a human being. You have to, a lot of people just have to learn to define themselves. Stick with that. Have your own identity.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, and it's funny because, and then we could pass the mic to Justin, but it's funny, like men think that shit is cute. The culture is cute, and they don't understand how much of a burden they are to women. They are a burden. It is literally like having another child. They are a fucking burden. It's cute in the beginning, and the sex is cute in the beginning. Oh, look at us. We met. It's right? And then if you become a fucking burden to a woman, and she's like she's damn near wiping your nose and tying your sneakers, and it's like you're a fucking burden, and it is constant. And then her vagina dries up, and guess what? And here's the thing, here's a paranoia I have, and maybe it's a good paranoia, maybe it's a bad paranoia, I don't know. But when I am in a relationship, I am very conscious of humans are gonna human. There are a million women out there, and they're all hot, and they're working, and they're grinding, and they're sexy, and blah, blah. And that's the world my man is going out in. So I do my best to my ability, okay? Because I'm not Miss America, right? Although I've looked better than a couple of them Miss Americas I saw. But anyway, you know, I, to the best of my ability, what I feel like he was attracted to, I try to maintain to the best of my ability, even when I'm tired, even when I was working, even, you know what I mean? I'm very conscious of it. And if he sees me looking busted, it's on a day where I just could not, you know what I mean, do anything else, but it will not ever be a fucking constant. And that's one thing about me in relationships. None of them could ever say, well, after 3 years, she let herself go. Not right. Never. No not way, one. No fucking how at all, unless I was sick or tired or cramping or whatever. Yeah. But I noticed with men, like No Saint said, it's almost something built in. It's almost like a built-in excuse where it's like, I don't have to look like this. I don't have to have this. I don't have to be this. Women are there to ride or die. So I'm good regardless. I'll just show up. And you become a fucking burden. Why aren't you as paranoid as I am? Why don't you think that I'm out there and other men are looking at me that have more than you, or just care more than you, or care about being a whole man on their own? There's so many men out here, they're not a whole man on their own, but then they want to add a woman to that. And you are a burden, sir. You are a burden. But I'll pass the mic.
Well,
Mr. Joseph, what say you?
Well, on top of that, what I've heard amongst a number of guys, that they kind of brag to each other about how much their woman gives to them, right? Like my woman, she like bought me these shoes. She bought me a flat screen TV. She bought me a PlayStation. She took me out to dinner, right? She got me the tickets to the Lakers game, and that's like, if it's like a gift, that's one thing, but it's like, it's talked about in not gift form. It's like
You're
her
right.
taking care of him, but they use this not as like it's like bragging to each other.
They sound like bad bitches, and that's what I keep saying. Right. They sound like bad bitches.
It's wild. And like, I remember I was spending the day with my girl, and we were bopping around Soho, just enjoying the day. It was a very strange day. We actually went to like a lot of perfumeries. We found ourselves going into perfumeries. There's tons of them down there. I didn't realize. So we're just, it was a strange day, but we stopped at some cafes, whatever. And typically I lead. That's part of how I am. Right. So I'm buying us lunch. I'm buying us dinner. I'm buying us breakfast, whatever it is that we need for that day, I'm on top of it. And then this one, I said, I want a coffee. Right. And so we stopped at this cafe, and she bought me the coffee and like a croissant to snack on. It made me feel so weird. It was like low level discomfort. I mean, and I was getting upset by it, but it certainly made me feel uncomfortable. It felt very strange to have her buying me shit.
I've been with that guy.
And those are the guys that I'm used to. Like,
right, gifts are one thing. Like, fine, like,
right.
I'm all for gifts, but this wasn't a gift, right? She was like trying to participate in this way, and it's like, okay, I can appreciate the intention, okay, but it just made me feel so off, and I was like, all right, that's not happening anymore. Like, I'll get the damn coffee.
Right.
See,
I've been with that guy.
Yes, and those are the kind of guys I grew up around. I've been with those guys, and I am that girl that was like, oh, I want to reciprocate. I want to do this time, and you could see the discomfort in them, like why? I don't want your goddamn.
Right, you're not here to take care of me. Like,
right.
If I want your money, it's going to be for a directed cause that we're both aiming towards. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like, she's my wife, and we're like, hey, we're getting a house, or we're going to get a new car, and therefore I'm going to like direct her money towards a goal that benefits the whole thing. You know what I mean? But her just like buy me food and shit, or like, it's just weird. I just don't get it. And it happened at one time, and it's never happened again. It's like, no. I think she saw the discomfort on my face, and she's never offered to buy me coffee again.
Oh, E Black TV in the building. What's up, E Black? You missed it, man. We were on and popping. This is the cool down now. We were on and popping. You hella late. This right here, Zero Fucks Given, sound like a bunch of jibber jabber. He's like, no worries, Black Lexicon. He's like, no worries, brother. The great humbling for women will arrive late 2023 and 2020. Wait for it.
The great humbling. Is that like winter is coming? Is it like,
I guess
like Game of Thrones? Like Game of Thrones, yes. Winter is coming. You have to get over the great humbling of men.
You got all
first.
These dudes waiting at the wall, with their bows.
And it's
sad.
So
this is so sad.
Like,
Jon Snow's
so
gonna come out
because there's this swath of men who believe this, and there's nothing in any of these men's heads that some red pill dude didn't implant in there, or Kevin Samuels or Andrew Tate didn't put in there. And their only weapon is to shame those who do not believe in what they believe in, whether they're calling women 304s or for the streets, or men simps or pimps or whatever the fuck it is. And they don't understand.
JV wants to know. JV wants to know what's going to happen to us.
And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Like, what's really supposed to happen?
Same thing that makes you laugh is gonna make you cry, Jen. And you know what's funny? This is a great example, because while you're waiting for the great humbling of women, some man somewhere just made another $1 million.
Somebody went to school and got their degree.
Right. Thank you.
I was going to say made that $1 million off of the guys who are waiting for women to have their reckoning.
Wait a minute. That's too order in the court, man.
That was a good
too
one.
much.
That was a good one.
You know what makes me laugh?
What?
Clowns. I was close.
You were right. You were right. It's already began. What's began, darling? You super chatted your dating coach. Is that what began?
Yeah. See. I wonder what channel he got that from. It's a
really simple. It's a really, really simple solution for guys. Stop paying attention to what women do and what they say. That's it. Just stop paying attention to them. I know, like, may sound bad to you ladies, but just stop giving a shit. The only one you should give a shit about is the one that is standing in front of you who's willing to be on your program. That's it.
Oh my God.
All the other women are neutral.
You're absolutely right.
Listen,
you're absolutely right, Adam. You know what I mean? Here comes Captain Save him, Haran to the rescue, bro, and my meals get cooked. The house is clean. The penis is stuck with abandonment. Yes.
With abandonment.
You know what I mean? Rather than being surrounded by a group of men complaining, you know what I mean, and holding each other. You know what I mean? And
not holding each other. Not holding each other.
All these women, winter is coming. Oh, women.
So
yeah, it's just
that's a meal Haran got because he was simping for us. We cooked him a meal, and here's another meal. Here's a whole big ass T-bone steak that Haran got cooked for him.
Oh, is that corn?
Because he's such a that's what happens with Sims. While you guys got to beat off in your YouTube circle jerks, Haran was eating steak made by women. So I don't know. You guys wait for the winter and the reckoning and the humbling, and we'll keep eating steak over here.
Yeah,